know who has your information.
So
Right.
who in the room has actually ever looked at their credit report?
That's
Wow.
very good.
You are a very savvy group. He's like, me
That's
back
right.
here. And that's important because you should treat it like your firstborn, not to be funny. Because without regularly checking your credit report, you don't know the activity that's going on. And sometimes you'll be shocked. And let me just say this. Though the people who lend you credit are very astute about reporting if you pay on time, when you become a victim of fraud, sometimes it's the hardest thing to fix. You have to jump through a lot of hoops if you allowed something to go on for a long period of time.
Do we have any questions from our audience here today? Any comments from some of our esteemed guests and faculty and staff who've joined us? Here's Mr. My helper today, bringing our basket of questions. And please, if you want to ask questions out loud, you don't have to write them down. If you want to say something on the air, this is very special. I can walk around. Okay. Question number 1 says, what is the most effective way to handle credit issues? Well, key is there is to handle it, right? Many people have credit issues and they ignore it. But I would always say the first thing you want to do is handle it. Get your credit report, go through your credit report, and identify everything on your report to, one, make sure it's yours, right? Credit reports are known to have a lot of errors and mistakes. So you want to first make sure that the information that's on your credit report is actually true and accurate and yours, okay? And then the other thing I would say is, come see me. I'm your financial coach. We can deal with any credit issues that you have, and I'd be happy to assist you and help you figure out the best way to tackle that.
And FYI, I'm sure everyone has probably, if you listen to the radio or on TV, you see tons of advertisements for people who are willing to help you fix your credit.
Credit repair?
Credit repair. And understand, I mean, if someone's not willing to invest the time, but they want to invest the money that they probably already don't have, it doesn't make a lot of sense because most of the things that are on your credit that can be disputed, you usually can do yourself. There is no magic way to fix this, I'll be honest. And I would tell people to be careful because a lot of those agencies or organizations make promises that aren't true. Even like giving people fictitious trade lines so that they could actually go out and purchase things. So you got to be careful when you work with different agencies because they could lead you down a path where you don't want to be.
Do you have any recommendations of places where they're legit and they have credibility that will actually help you build your credit? Besides, I am going to come see you. But because I'm actually working with National Credit Care right now, do you guys know anything about them?
Credit counseling is a little bit different than actually improving or working on any kind of credit challenges. What I will tell you is this. As far as something being legitimate, it is legitimate, but I'm going to explain something to you. What I believe in is, you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, but if you teach a man to fish, you feed him for life. I teach you the law, right? So credit repair companies are typically built off 2 statutes in the Fair Credit Reporting Act that simply say, if any information or item cannot be verifiable within 30 days, it is removed from your credit report. So a lot of the information that is being deleted or disappearing from credit reports is because it can't be verified. For example, something as simple as, I had a client one time who he had a timeshare and it was in collections. But the company that financed his timeshare was in Florida and there was a typhoon in Florida. Well, the company went under, they went out of business. When he wrote a letter to the credit bureau to verify the amount of debt he owed, it came back deleted because they could not locate the company that had the information. So in terms of credit repair, it really is something that is a matter of just knowing that key thing in the statute of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, that if it cannot be verified by the credit bureaus, it will be deleted. That's something that kind of works on behalf of, especially if, one, we've been a victim of identity theft and we can prove it's not us. The other thing is, if somebody else got credit in your name and they didn't pay it, and you can prove, hey, I wasn't there, this isn't me, and you file a police report, it's coming off. So credit repair really isn't necessary. Like Maya was saying, credit repair is a business. Like Credit Karma is a business. Mint.com is a business. And if you understand that your money means business, then you'll start making different decisions and you will change and you won't need credit repair. Because I'll tell you, I'm probably the biggest advocate of do it yourself because you save so much more money when you educate yourself and you do it yourself. Something that I'd like to do here at Truman is have regular settings like this where we have regular talk shows. The radio station may or may not be here, but where we can talk about these things and dialogue back and forth with one another, and I can tell you things and share things with you to help you make different credit decisions, finance decisions, so that you can change your future, right? If you guys have parents who've ever said, oh, if I had what you had now, or oh, if I knew what you knew then, I'm telling you, my being here is a game changer. You having access to a financial coach is absolutely a game changer. Maya and I both have said, if we had someone in school that was talking to us about money and about credit and about this stuff long before, we wouldn't have made the same mistake. We would have gotten much farther a lot sooner than we did if we had somebody who was there to help us and teach us and coach us to make the right decisions in our lives. So, yes, credit repair, there are legitimate companies, but they're businesses that they see a need. A lot of people see a need for them, but guess what? They don't have access to me, and they don't have access to the Fair Credit Report. And a lot of people don't like to read, but I'm telling you, there are 2 stanzas in the Fair Credit Reporting Act that will change your life, and you don't necessarily need credit repair.
And the key thing is most of the things they're going to fix, you can fix yourself.
Absolutely, for free.
Especially if there's something where there's a collection that has changed hands multiple times with different agencies, that has to be verified. And like Catherine said, if it can be verified, it has to come off your credit.
Absolutely.
So they're going to pay you to do something honestly with just a little due diligence you could really do yourself. So that money you're going to pay them, and it's not necessarily, a cheap, option to have. That's money you can keep in your pocket, and you can still fix it yourself.
That's right. I have another question. The other question is, can a company pull your credit history to get to know your character? How come it's not illegal?
Well, it's just like, for instance, they can go on social media and get a feel for who you are because it's public domain. Now, granted, bureaus are interesting in the sense that they're created for that very reason for businesses, and because you're looking to work for someone that's a business, it's not off limits. It's not for them. And like I said, the point behind that is to really determine your character in the sense of how have you handled your responsibilities. Now understand this. Let's just say that the reason that your credit has taken a plummet, and this does happen to people. Let's say you lost your job. Often when people go through divorces, it turns into War of the Roses, and things get ugly. No, it does, which means, people go into foreclosure in their homes. They can't afford to pay their bills. If you have a reason for why you're in that situation, then most of the time that won't stop you from getting a job. But if it's just because you just didn't want to pay somebody, that's when the problem's going to come in. So you have to have a reason for why that is reflective on your credit. Absolutely. Thank you, Maya, so much for sharing that. I actually am so honored to have Dr. Rahman here. He wants to share a story with us. So let's all welcome Dr. Rahman, please.
Thank you. The importance of credit score cannot be overemphasized. I came here to share a story with you about my brother. So back in the mid-2000s, he was riding high. Him and his wife were living in Northbrook. He drove a Mercedes, she drove a Range Rover, and then the 2008-2009 financial debacle happened, and he fell on hard times. In 2011, I got a call from him saying, "Bro, I need your help." And I said, "Well, what's the matter?" "I'm buying a car, and they want to charge 29% interest." And I said, "Why?" He said, "I think it's because of my credit score." Well, how do you not help your brother, right? Drove over. He was like 40 miles away at the dealership. Saturday evening, drove over, spoke to the finance people, and sure enough, they wanted to charge him 29%. I asked them, well, what is his credit score? Credit scores range, I think you may have already talked about this, range anywhere from 300 to 850. His credit score was around 540. Okay? Well, you would think that 540 is not a dismal credit score, but it is in their eyes, those who loan money to you. Anyway, I went into the finance office, talked to the people, and I said, well, I'm here to help my brother. They said, well, do you have good credit? My answer was, I think I do. I have an 816 credit score. The interest rate went from 29% to 1.99. just because of the credit score. So what you are listening to this morning, this afternoon, is very crucial. Whether you go out to get a loan, you go out for a job these days, guess what they're looking at? Your credit score. You got it. So it's very, very important for the young people in this room who have started their lives or will be starting their lives pretty soon to keep this one thing in mind. What does my credit look like? Because it will help you for the rest of your life. It'll help you in getting a much lower interest rate. It'll help you in getting that job, which they may or may not give you based on your credit score. It will help you reduce your finance charges. It'll help you in many things financial that you may not think of or consider at this stage of your life. So build it now, keep your score high, and you will feel the impact of it lifelong. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share the story with them.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rahman. Okay, we're going to wrap up soon because we're going to take a commercial break, and then we'll take some more questions.
So welcome to new people have come in. So welcome to Live at Truman. Let's talk about credit. It's Money Smart Week, and we're focusing on financial literacy, understanding credit. It's sponsored by 90.5 FM HD. Stay tuned. To our listeners who aren't in the room, we'll be right back.
And breathe now. Yes. We can take some of the questions during the break. How much? Okay. You guys can ask questions. I'm going to walk around with the mic, okay? You don't have to write your questions on the card. It's only if you don't want to say your question out loud or you don't want to say your name. But remember, this is live radio, so you are forever attached to your question or your comment, okay? But is there anybody who actually wants to say something on the air live about a question or comment, situation, story, anything? Okay, those people who actually want to say something, come over here to the side in the gray chairs. That when we come on, because we want to hear from students, okay? So please come sit in the gray chairs. So when we go back on the air, you have your question or comment ready. You can write it down on the card if you want to, okay? But when you ask a question, make sure you have the mic, okay? Because on the air, you can't hear you if you're back there. Okay?
We don't want to make sure you sound like you're miles and miles away.
Right. When you're right in front of us.
People who aren't in the room listening.
Okay.
Like I mentioned, if you want to put this on Facebook, if you want to tweet it, whatever the case may be, this is 90.5 FM HD, which means on HD radio, it's on both 1 and 2. It's also, if someone happens to have Sirius Radio, it's channel 432. It's live 365, as well as iHeartRadio. So there's multiple ways if you want to put out there what's going on at Truman College, that you're involved in the conversation, that you can list it. So like I said, it's smooth 90.5 FM HD, that you can do that. Okay?
Excellent. So does anybody want to ask any questions or comments when we get on the air? Make sure you come and sit in the gray chairs, okay? Any faculty and staff that are here, if you want to tell your funny credit story or what you've learned or how, somebody helped you and you figured out this whole big credit mystery a long time ago and you got great stories, or how you made your first credit mistake and how you had to improve and how hard it was to turn it around. Some of you guys have asked, how can you reach me? I'm here on campus. I'm Truman's financial coach. I've been here now for a month. I have cards in the back. Darnell, please stand up. Darnell is my VP of communications today. He has my cards. So if you want to have a coaching session or 2 or 5 or 10, and you want to get help with your credit, you want to learn how to manage your money, you want to get inside my head and find out what I know about how to help you, take a card, email me, and I'd be happy to set up an appointment. I am on campus every day. My office is inside the financial office, and I do have a coaching room that's actually being set up so that we can have private one-on-one consultations to help you build your credit, manage your money. It's all confidential. I don't tell any of your business. I work with people that have hundreds of millions of dollars, and nobody knows who they are because I keep my mouth closed, okay? So you don't have to worry. I do have a couple of other questions. In what ways can people improve our credit score? So improving your credit score, it all depends on what your credit looks like to start with, right? Some people might need to build credit or get new credit. Some people who don't have credit need to maybe get secured cards or get another trade line or credit account that actually is reported to all 3 major credit bureaus. So there's revolving, there's installment. type cards that you can get where you put money down and then you can rebuild credit that way.